The last death in the bull run occurred in 2009 when Daniel Romero, a 27-year-old from Madrid, was killed by a bull called Cappuccino from the Jandía ranch. Bill was running that day. This interview was recorded the next day, and Bill recalls what happened in the run.
Hello, my name is Bill Hillman. In Pamplona, I'm known as Buffalo Bill. We're standing here right now in Pamplona on July 10th. Early in the morning, around 8:04 in the morning, there was a death by goring that took place on the run in the Telefonica section. An experienced runner, a very good runner, was gored to death. The horn entered in the throat on a downward angle, punctured a lung, and also severed the aorta. And the young man, he died within 45 minutes. I was on the street that day. I always run Telefonica. I've been running it for 2 years now, and I ran this section. The ranch that ran yesterday was the Jandía Ranch. They are a very notorious ranch for gorings. In 2004, they gored 20 runners. In 2005, they gored 12. They're very, very notorious for gorings. On this day, a brown bull. It was five black bulls and one brown bull. The brown bull's name was Cappuccino. Cappuccino, in the beginning of the run, he broke away, got well ahead of the herd. Had a crash into the wall at the town hall section towards the beginning of the run. He regrouped. The herd passed him. He regrouped and continued up the street. The herd actually beat him to this section. We're now sitting on the barricades at the Callejon section of the run, right before the tunnel in the Plaza de Toros. The bulls, the main herd passed through here without incident. Though back at Telefonica, just a little ways back, Cappuccino entered, and at the time, the runner, Daniel Jimeno Romero, fell in Telefonica. He struggled to, he was struggling to get underneath the barricades. He was going in feet first, and it looks like at that point, Cappuccino came storming into the barricades and gored him, and gave him the fatal goring. Daniel was a very experienced runner. He was 27 years old. He was from Madrid, but his family had strong roots in Pamplona. He was a third-generation runner. His grandfather ran in Pamplona, his father ran in Pamplona, and he ran. He'd been running for 7 years. He was a very good runner. Over the past 2 years of me running Telefonica, I'm in several pictures with Daniel, and he was a very experienced runner. And it's really a shame that it's a real true tragedy that he died. It's really just a tragedy. He was a very strong runner, and I ran Telefonica on the 10th. I got out early. I ended up in the Callejon in this section, very near to the lead bull. I took the lead bull into the tunnel, and I ran near the tips of the horns. It was one of my best runs. I got into the arena, and that's when I noticed Cappuccino on the jumbo screen inside the arena, a live shot of Cappuccino out here causing a lot of trouble to the runners. I decided I've come all the way over here to run. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna help get Cappuccino into the corrals. I ran up the tunnel the wrong way. Several other runners did the same. Around 20 of us ran up the tunnel and joined the group of runners that were trying to get Cappuccino into the arena. I was actually passed by Cappuccino right in this section. Then I tried to get back in front of him. At that point, I locked eyes with him. It was one of the scariest moments of my life. He sort of paused as if he was gonna get me. Then someone else distracted him. I looped around the runners and got right before Cappuccino, and I waved my newspaper under his nose, right in front of his face. He approached, and at that point, I turned to run and ended up getting tripped up by some of the runners that were behind me. And when I was tripped, I dove for the barricades. At that point, both my arms were just underneath the barricades, and a police officer and another runner who was on the other side of the barricades, they both grabbed each arm and they pulled me under into safety. I didn't realize at the time that Cappuccino had killed a man up the street. After I was pulled out, I embraced the runner that helped save me, and I began walking out of Telefonica. I passed several gored men on both sides of the street. I didn't realize the one that I passed, the second one I passed on the left, was the runner who would end up dying 45 minutes later. It was very hard to take. It's very I've known about the deaths. I know a lot of the history of the run. I know about the deaths, but it's a whole nother experience to be on the street the day of a death.